Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We ready yet? Welcome to DV Live.
Hello and happy Tuesday, even though it feels like a Monday.
If I'm feeling it's funny, but I'm feeling spacious in here all of a sudden. Is it just because there's only one of them in here?
I think so, and there's only us in here, and there's no popcorn.
And there's no popcorn? Okay.
Sad.
Well, welcome to DV Live. I don't know, are we organized today or not?
Today's the Monday-est Tuesday.
Yeah.
Ever. And that's being very polite today.
So the nice thing about DV Live, we set up on the Tuesday so that we had
leeway.
Whatever happened, during the weekend that had to get fixed, we had that opportunity. That just doesn't feel like that's what's happened today.
That went out the window. We're on a learning curve today, everybody. So
we had that's one way to put it. We were getting a lot of work done on the IT side yesterday, or we thought we were, and that all came to an abrupt end at about midnight last night. So it's been about 48 hours of interesting. So welcome to this week's DV Live, where we are going to randomly talk about the stuff that's frustrating us and not the topic at hand.
You guys are our therapy session today. Feel free to comment any of your essential oils, some woosahs.
30 minutes of us complaining about stuff that we have no control over.
Once again, everybody, we are real people, and we're here to keep things real.
Yeah, and I mean, I was telling Amanda today, I said, if I have to give the BCC one more time, So for those of you who are out there and you want to know, the BCC is the Big Catalytic Caper. That's what we're renaming it because I'm a big fan of the Great Muppet Caper.
The Great Muppet Caper.
So we're calling it the Big Catalytic Caper.
Let me tell you, this morning, Eric kind of sounded like he was test driving for Fast and Furious when he started his vehicle.
Fast and Furious, the Element version. But if you're anybody out there who happens to know what happened, feel very secure on our property. We got great cameras.
Yes. For those you can scroll down a few posts and see exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, anybody who's not quite picked up on the idea that a financial institution might have cameras, just reiterating, there's 48 cameras on the property.
We know if you're picking your nose.
We literally see you when you drive in. We see you when you drive out. We see you when you leave your car. We see you when you walk in. That's for everyone's safety and security, not just ours, but yours too. And so,
some people don't know that.
Let's just say this goes into the stupid criminal. I'm waiting for the stupid criminal segment. But it's only because the criminal didn't think that.
Maybe we could recap that at the end of the year.
Yeah,
with
we
scams.
could with scams. But why not to target a financial institution parking lot is the message. So
fun times.
Fun times. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about our Reel program.
Oh, geez.
I
got to use my brain now again.
I gave him some notes on here.
Yeah, we've got Reels is such a great program. We've now been doing it for 2 years. I just wish I could get the...
So for people that don't know, members, viewers watching, Reel is our residential energy efficiency loan program.
Residential energy efficiency lending. Because it's a state of California program.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going to say is I wish I could get, and if anybody's out there listening to this, share, tell your friends. Reel is when you hear everything we're going to tell you about this is one of the coolest programs out there, but it's really being underutilized because it's a great opportunity for people to do home improvements, or energy efficient home improvements without having to go through the lien process, which is really the big,
It has a lot of benefits.
It's
compared to
the
a
catalytic
signature
converter of the vehicle.
It is.
So
and there's only 8 lenders within our area that I looked at.
We were one of the first 4 pilot lenders, and we got into it not because everyone thinks that we introduce programs or stuff like that because there's such this wild demand, and this is one of those where we introduced it because we think that the Ridgecrest community is a very unique fit for this program.
I mean, air conditioning.
Well, it's so
And we'll talk about products here in a little
yeah,
bit.
and it's understanding what Real is Real is a state-sponsored program
Okay.
that says quite simply, we're going to incentivize you, the financial institution, to offer a lower rate. And Real loans start as low as 5% without a lien for up to 5 years.
Now, is that based on your credit score, your
It
history
has a
with the
flowing tier
institution?
based
Okay.
on the time of the term that you're looking to seek, because we do 5, 10, and 15-year terms, and then your credit score. So it's a floater based on
Okay.
how much you're doing.
Well, that's nice. It's not just boxed in for
It's
the
not just
people.
boxed in, and so we can manage the payment. But what they're doing is they're essentially giving us, in order to mitigate our risk and bring the rate down, they're giving us an advantage to do that.
Okay.
Well, the advantage to the consumer is that we're not asking for the property tax lien like the PACE program did. And we're also not treating it like a first or second trustee mortgage on your property. So there's no restrictions in terms of if you've improved the property to be able to resell the property, to be able to transfer the property, or to refinance the property. You're actually making property improvements, and it's being treated like that rather than like a collateralized lien.
That's kind of interesting.
It's the real key element to why
It's kind of
Real's
unique.
different.
Like
Well-
Desert Valleys in the credit union world.
Yeah. Well, the unique thing is that what if you said Amanda has a house, right? And Amanda has a has a swamp cooler, right?
Right.
Well, your swamp cooler dies. You can probably replace the swamp cooler for about $3,000, right? Which
Out of
is not
pocket.
not a huge amount of money, but that can be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go into a larger home where you're running a dual pack or AC, a dual pack, a swamp and AC. Well, you get into an AC unit and you can suddenly be in the $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 range.
Yeah, I had a family member that just went through it last summer. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh.
And then apply the idea that what they do is obviously the lower the price, right? The
Mhm.
less energy efficient.
Right.
Because if you're paying for it, you're paying for that energy efficiency as it goes.
In a sense,
the
it's
scale.
kind of like here's an organic apple versus a regular apple.
Right. Think of it that
What
way.
are you going to pay more for?
How many people shop for a refrigerator and why it's got the energy saver label on the side of it, right? It
Right.
tells you, okay, if I get the $250 refrigerator, it's going to cost me more in an electrical bill, but I only have to put $250 out of my pocket today. Whereas the Maytag Blue line is going to actually use less energy, give me all these features, but it cost me $1,000.
Exactly. So do you want to save money now or in the long run?
Right. And what we found is that people were not purchasing the energy efficient units.
Really?
Okay, because again, and in some cases, and some of the disenfranchisement came from the access to credit. Because if Amanda didn't want a lien or didn't have this type of program, and let's just say she had a $12,000 unit bill for an AC.
And if I had like a 580 credit score?
Well, if you have a 580 credit score, you please come into the credit union. We'll be happy to sit down, show you some tricks, some tools, secure checking, education, and opportunity to make that improvement. Because this conversation probably isn't really strongly for you. The hard part is that you have to have a certain credit level. I believe we drop down to, well, we actually do drop down to 580, don't we?
Mhm.
I'd have to go down. I'd have to look at the program.
As of today. when I
Yeah,
looked.
but it's on a shorter term. We don't do the longer terms, the dollar amounts. There's other restrictions.
There was
I know.
definitely a lot of terms, which
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of terms.
if
and
you have
restrictions.
interest, please call us,
Right,
make an
call us and
appointment.
talk to us.
There's a lot out there.
There's a lot of details in that, but the key being is that the idea is that you have middle of the road families. Our target is not the higher end or the lower end of the spectrum. It's really the middle of the road spectrum. That you have families that have homes that have units on them that they're going to spend $2,000-3,000 in repairing a 10-year or 15-year-old AC unit, when that unit's efficiency relative to the modern unit is so dramatically different.
It's going to cost.
It's going to cost us as a state in terms of energy resources more over the long run rather than giving them an incentive to replace the unit.
Right. Especially in the times where right now everything's going green.
Right.
Going for efficiency.
Right. And then we multiply that amongst the other products that are part of it. So Real covers everything in the energy efficiency world but solar.
And is that a hard no or just no right now?
It's a hard no right now.
Okay.
It's something that I think us as lenders talking to the state and the managers of the program, which is the California CAFTRA, CAF.
I know it's Go Green now.
It's
just went through a name change.
Yeah, Go Green. It's division number 1,122 of the state's 5,777 departments.
Eric is always going to be my phone a friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No sarcasm in that statement. But the fact is that it's what it is they are trying to find a way to get as many of these energy pieces in place in residential homes because it reduces the net overall energy need of the state.
Okay. So it's the overall effect.
Yeah. So what's included? Well, HVAC obviously is one of the big ones.
I saw pool pumps today.
Pool pumps, appliances.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard.
Water heaters, cool roofs, which anybody who in this town is needing to go through a roof repair, if you're not talking about the reflective roofing, you're losing out on
yeah, if you guys don't know what a cool roof is, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, imagine basically turning the underbelly of the home of the roof. You have shingles or tile, depending on what you're putting in.
Mm-hmm.
But the underscaling, the layers, turning them into reflective rather than absorption. Well, imagine that like if you put okay, how many of us have car shades? It's the same theory.
The window shades.
Yep. It's the same theory. Why do you have this big reflective window shade on?
You want to drop the temperature.
As the heat's hitting it, the heat is being reflected off rather than being absorbed in.
Right.
It's still going to get warm, right? You can't prevent a certain amount of the energy transfer.
Never going to be 68 in your car in the middle of July.
Never. But you can reflect it from being 95. It reaches some ambient reflection temperature where the total amount of other heat that's being applied radiates out.
So that's just applying it to the whole roof of the house.
And so then, in theory, as you start at the roof of the house, then you hit the insulation of the house, then you hit the attic insulation, and you eventually get into then your individual rooms. And by then, you've actually deflected, okay?
Majority.
Yeah, a substantial majority of the heat away, and therefore your internal cooling is much more efficient. And this
hence the energy efficiency.
And windows, going to dual panes versus single panes, insulated garage doors.
Oh.
And you'd say, why is that? Why insulated garage doors? Well, because again, even though it's an exterior feature, what does it absorb? It brings in heat.
It brings in heat.
And that heat absorbs naturally through walls, insulation, things of that nature. And then you have, the key is that it's energy efficiency lending.
So is this only for home buyers?
It's for property owners.
Okay.
So we can do some limited commercial. It's not treated like a commercial, but rental properties where you're the individual owner. You have a rental home. As long as you're the property owner, we can do things like that. Or
if I'm the renter, I can go to the
not
property.
The renter.
I could go to the property owner. Okay, yeah. Be like, hey, I heard about this super cool program.
The property owner can choose to take out the loan and invest in the property.
Okay.
But a perfect example is, let's say you're a renter of a property, and the HVAC goes out, right?
Right.
Well, you're picking up the phone and you're calling the property owner, right? You're not replacing the HVAC unit.
Hopefully not.
But if you can go to that property owner with, hey, here's a way we can upgrade the unit in order to reduce my energy bill and your longevity bill and get you a better value in terms of cost.
And get this handled now versus later.
Win-win.
Yeah.
I still think the best part about it is the windows. I think the windows. I think for us out here, the cool roof and the HVAC are the most popular products, and I think
Absolutely. Especially coming into days like today where it's
coming into the
105
summer,
out.
yeah.
So,
Honestly, it felt like it was like. I mean, I know it was warm, but I didn't feel like it was 105. I was like, well, welcome back to Ridgecrest.
so Eric and I had a fun adventure a couple times outside today.
Yeah, we us and flagpoles. But the windows aspect to the program is really cool because what I like to say is imagine that you have an older home.
Okay.
Okay. And in this community,
There's tracks. Yeah.
that's not unusual. We're talking not 50 years old, but maybe
But the 70s
40s,
or
40
yeah.
to 40 to 60 years old, somewhere in that range. Well, those homes weren't built with they were built all with single pane glass, and
Going green was not in the plans.
green wasn't part of the mindset or anything of that nature. Where you have another project to do. Let's just say kitchen cabinets, right?
Yep.
This is where the program really turns the corner between being
Is this the 70/30?
yeah, this is a 70/30 between being cool and being
Really cool.
both efficient for the borrower as well as efficient for the project.
Okay.
So the 70/30 is kind of simple. You only have to have 70% of your total loan balance be on qualified EEMs or qualified energy efficiency measures.
And that's the approved products we just talked about.
Absolutely.
HVAC, windows, insulation,
Right.
cool roof.
Cool roof. So let's just say that you have a home that needs a $14,000 HVAC unit.
Okay.
I know for some of you might be going, that's not unusual. Go check out the price of a steak today and then tell me why you're shocked at
Oh
the
my
price.
goodness.
Okay. So we said a $14,000 HVAC unit, right?
Yep.
Well, here's the cool thing is we would rather than just giving you the $14,000 loan, we'd rather give you a $20,000 loan.
Okay.
And you say, well, why? Because here's what's cool is you can apply for 30% of the loan balance to be used for any other project within the home of your selection, regardless of its energy efficiency.
But as long as it's an upgrade.
As long as it's an improvement to the property.
Okay.
So, perfect example is I need new carpet. I also need a new HVAC.
Okay.
I can get a loan that covers both of them
Yes.
at the lower rate.
The 14 goes to the HVAC. I have 6 left
That's
over for the
70%.
flooring.
And 6,000 left over for flooring. Now 6,000 that could maybe be flooring. It could be cabinets. It can be countertops. It can be
Okay.
insulation. Probably would be covered
Under
in
the
other
70. Yeah.
But there's lots of little projects that people have in their homes that if I'm going to be doing a home improvement project of the size or scale of an HVAC or cool roof or something of that nature, this gives them the ability to be able to do more than just that single project, which doesn't provide sometimes the same tenable value, right? When you redo a kitchen, you actually improve the appreciation of the property pretty dramatically.
It goes up.
Well, you could redo the HVAC, and the total appreciation on the property is probably
And then
it's level.
but adding in the
But I added cabinets and that, and I got this.
Yep.
And that's the fact is people don't go walking around going, "Hey, how old is the HVAC? Oh, I better knock 20,000 off the price for that."
Right.
That's not what's happening. People
look at the cabinets, they look
people
at the
buy
floor,
they buy the pretty.
the pretty things, the shiny.
Yeah.
So with that, do I have to have a licensed contractor or can I kind of like DIY myself?
Well, that actually depends on what it is.
Okay.
So for any of the energy efficiency measures, you have to have a real approved contractor. Now, in the local area, we've got about 8 of them already.
Oh, okay.
We started with 1, they've grown, and we've worked and have relationships with them in different. That's from roofers to HVACers to windowers to GCs.
So I can't be like, my friend over here, Bob, owns a company. He's licensed, but he's not approved with Real.
Right.
Okay.
However, Bob can certainly go through the process of getting approved.
Okay.
Which if he's
Which is win-win.
if he's a licensed general contractor, good for him, good for the community. And the second half is that you can certainly go to Bob to do the cabinets.
Okay. For the other 30.
As I said, the energy efficiency measures must be completed by an approved real contractor.
Okay.
Anything else that's done to the property under that loan can be done by that's between you and the contractor, not in the same way. Now, we obviously encourage to use licensed general contractor in all circumstances.
You don't want to see Amanda wielding a
Please
hammer.
don't get into a DIY. There's if you're going to do a DIY, understand that we're not going to give you the money to do your DIY until you're done with it.
Right.
It's a real important piece of fact.
Okay.
Um,
Why is that? Let's just go into
and the simple reason is because the loan doesn't fund until the job is
completed.
Well, if you're doing a $20,000 loan, 14,000 is EEMs, right? That contractor finishes his work. He's got 14,000 owed to him.
Okay.
And Bob, your buddy who's doing your cabinets, has I forgot to place the order. I'll get to it next week.
He's him-hawing, and you're my friend, so you get the buddy.
Well, guess what? Him over here, he ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't worked too well for too long. So we just encourage you to use a general contractor, be open and do what your plan is from day one.
Okay.
And that's kind of the biggest sticking point that some people have is, well, what do you mean? You don't just write me a check and then I go out and no, you have to.
It's a little bit different from
a traditional. Here's a check. Go do what you want.
Loan. Mm-hmm.
We have to ensure that the energy efficiency measures were completed. Right. We have to have certification of it because we submit all that to the state in order to.
It's state funded.
It's a state funded program, and that's how that's how the credit union benefits from the state funding part of it.
Okay.
And so it's not. I would say it's a very easy process. We've done, I think, 30 or so of these loans over the last 2 years, and I have yet to meet anybody who's ever been disappointed by one. But the fact is that it takes a little bit of time, and it takes communication. Now, remember, all these contractors, they all know this. They all know that they don't get paid until the end. All they're looking to hear is that they've got the approval. They're lined up with Desert Valleys as the financer, all those things. That's what they're looking for.
They're making sure everything's checked off, and then
they're looking for the check marks, not the other way around.
Yeah.
But if you throw a big cog in the wheel, like I'm DIYing it and I haven't gotten my Etsy order yet for my special drapes that I'm going to, no.
Yeah.
You need to be getting your work done.
Let me tell you, there's some things I like to throw the money at. Putting in cabinets is definitely something I would do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Nope. Just solve the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the check, solve the problem. And even then, you're typically going to have a conversation with the contractor that they understand.
Now, does the contractor come in and meet with you also?
So Can I bring them in? Yeah, we've met with most of them.
Okay.
So we've already got a pretty good
rapport,
lay of the land, right? And then what a lot of times is the advantage of going with a GC contractor is they'll sub out the individual pieces. So like if you went with a GC contractor that was going to do your roof, HVAC, windows. I mean, we've done $50,000 projects of these natures.
Wow.
Where the person comes in and they've done, temperature control on
the little Google Nest.
Yep. They've done temperature control. They've done cool roof, dual panes, new HVAC. And they've done it at the same time that they are doing, a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 solar project at the same time on the other side. And they end up with a net zero project. But that
makes sense. We have a little bit of things like that going on around here at Desert Valleys.
Yeah, we're working towards it. We haven't done the efficiency on the roofing or the attic spaces yet.
It just makes sense.
I'll take your time.
So, if you're going to be doing a big project,
that you can do.
How do you
can
make
do
it all
more than just one thing?
Okay.
And that's where I think Real is one of those projects that's just not. We've tried to explain it to people, but the best thing I can tell you is come in and talk to Adrian's our primary coordinator for the Real program. But more importantly, just come in and talk to us about what it is you're looking to do, and we might be able to plug this program perfectly in for you. And then the second half is if you are out there and you are getting ready to go through the process of preparing a home for sale.
Uh-huh.
Um, Guys, I can't tell you enough what a great product this is. If you know that you're going to put the house on the market and you want, and you know that these are liabilities such as HVAC, windows,
Something that's gonna.
clean up, beautification, cabinets,
Mhm.
think about those types of things because they do greatly improve the property value prior to sale. I mean, it's a simple fact.
And especially if someone's gonna be looking to buy, that's typically a long term.
You're
And if
creating better value.
it's already done, I want to invest in that. I don't have to
Correct.
upon buying the house.
Correct. You walk around and okay, this is going to take another 30 grand. And let me go that next step and throw it on the flip side, which is you've just purchased a home
Mm-hmm.
and it needs X number of upgrades. Come in and give us a chance to talk about what the real program can do in terms of giving you the flexibility to do those upgrades.
Okay.
Perfect example. Somebody's just bought a, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, small,
But they knew it was a fixer-upper going in.
$150,000 home, but they knew that they needed these things. Can we find a way to help with some of those things? And you might say, well, the HVAC only is going to be $6,000, so I can't do anything on the other side. Well, what else does the property need?
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked the ducting? Have you checked the insulation conditions? Have you looked at the windows? Have you looked at?
Did it come with appliances? Does it have that?
Yeah,
My grandma's like pea
old
green double.
How old
boiler.
is the water heater?
Mhm. Things that you don't typically, like I said, look at when
You
you're
don't take
walking
it-
through a house.
Yeah, and that's why I said that's why I gave that comparison, the yellow slip.
Mm-hmm.
We all see them, right?
Oh yeah, we always see it on there. Has the weird
Do we
digital
pay
numbers.
attention to it?
No,
Not at all.
I want to know how shiny it is.
No, I want the price and price.
How much bubble water does it fit on one shelf?
That's how people can. Okay, on the fridge. But literally, when you go to a water heater, you'll see those same. But it's usually our brain is trained to, well, how big of one do I need, or how much? How much? There and we fail to see what the energy value is.
Mm-hmm. And compare that part of it.
Yep,
We're just comparing dollars.
correct.
So.
And we do that across the board in terms of conservation. I mean, just a little memo: energy and water are commodities, and they are charged accordingly.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
They are commodities.
This is a newsflash to me.
Yeah, I got news for you. And their prices going up.
Oh, yeah. So.
And that's a whole nother conversation that we could have about just understanding the inflationary concerns that are going on, some of the economics. I'm not an economics person, but I would say that this is probably well overdue.
Well, and I mean, it's not like it's going to go down dramatically anytime.
But monetary policy tells you that the amount of cash that's been pumped in the system just over the last 12 months. But then really you go back to from 2009 to what the interest value is, the monetary value of cash as an investment, as a purchasing power. It's it's just very interesting. It's a very interesting economic period, and anytime you have what people define as very interesting economic periods, I would point you out to the housing crash of 2008. There is always a
fallout. Always.
There is always a fallout.
So, well, awesome. I mean, it sounds like the program has a bunch of additional benefits to everyone, both sides of the coin, purchasers, sellers, everything.
I just think I think it's one of those programs that's designed very well when it's put to its correct purpose. Okay. And that's why I say, if somebody says, "Oh, what can I?" And I'm in more of a kidding mood because we're in the last few minutes. We've covered most of the big stuff, so now I can be my.
We check
my
the
sass.
boxes.
If somebody comes and says, "Hey, I want to do an HVAC and I want $5,000 in debt consolidation," no, that's not the purpose of the loan.
That part, okay, that one
It
would
has
even.
happened, and that's not the purpose of the loan.
We know I don't crunch numbers around here, and I'd still be like, red flag.
Yeah, can I get new windows and a video game system and with no.
Can I get a cool roof
Yeah.
as well as this brand new Tahoe?
Yeah, they don't match, and that's where what's your purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing that I'll say is one of the things that about real that I think just doesn't get expressed properly enough is the idea that we shop based on our budgets, right?
Right.
Which is good fiscal policy.
If we ever see above our limit, we kind of just
We
ignore it.
automatically ignore it.
Mhm.
Real puts within the consumer's reach the option to be energy efficient.
Okay,
And it's
so
a
they can look
really-
at other options.
That's the real good thing of way to look at what the program can do for members or for consumers out there is
Mhm.
it engages your ability to not just shop within what is good your good fiscal budget means, but what is good long-term investment means.
Which I think is good budget wise.
Right, it is, but
100%.
we automatically dismiss it
Oh yeah.
if it's out of that reach that we feel like we can reach for.
Mm-hmm.
And Desert Valleys has tried to do that. We tried to do that with Driving Sense too. That was a very similar mindset of trying to do that. And I'm sorry to say that program will be coming to an end. I think September 30th will be the end of that program, and that's just simply it didn't fly with the members, and that's unfortunate. I can tell you, while we're talking about housing things, for those of you that missed the memo that we've been doing it, we do have a full first mortgage program available. Our focus is on refinance and in terms of our in-house products, but we have a outhouse.
We don't have an outhouse.
Off-site.
We do not.
Third-party relationship for FHAs and VAs and some of the other
So like first time.
buyer
Mhm.
programs and those things, which we can't support, but we can certainly be a trusted partner throughout the whole process for the members.
Okay.
And the second is that we're in the final process of putting together a home equity line of credit product.
A new
home equity-
HELOC.
a
So if
HELOC and
anyone
second-
knows that, yeah.
HELOC and second trust deed program that we hope to launch in July. I certainly hope to be able to say at member movie night that we've got it up and running.
Don't forget, guys, July 20th.
July 20th, member movie night. But it's we're looking at these needs. We know that there's a need in the community. We understand that Real doesn't cover solar, and that's where a lot of people go, well, if it did solar, I'd do it. No.
What other upgrades are you looking at?
Why are you, if you're thinking about solar, what are the other things that you're looking to do? Because if all you're trying to do is just reduce your bill, then you're really only touching half the surface. And this is what we're trying to tell you is look at the complete package of what you're trying to do.
Because how's solar going to fix the fact that you have cool air just running out of a single pane window?
Yeah, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Just because you talking about our project. Wow, a great opportunity. And I promise not to go too long today, but for those of you who don't know, Desert Valleys. Sorry,
We're always having a
I
project.
just had the joke that went through my head. It's just if you ever actually get a chance to sit down and talk to a member of my staff or something like that, they will tell you there is no such thing as we finally finished the last project. There's
not a slow day.
There is just moving to the next project. And if it looks like we're coming to the end, we'll just add more projects to what we're trying to do. And so one of those right now is the energy efficiency of our overall property. And that's going to result in some upgrades probably in September, October this year.
Very big upgrades that you will notice.
Yeah, well, we've been able to minimize the footprint of it. And that's what I was going to talk about. Is we had we're going to install solar on the property and as well as 2 EV vehicle charging stations on the front for electrical vehicles, and that is because, guys, no matter how whatever your opinion is on EV vehicles. You are entitled to your right and your opinion, and I might even share in it. But the fact is that EV vehicles are going to become a substantial part of our vehicle fleet
They're going to be a
population.
norm.
They're going to be a norm within a decade, and I want Desert Valleys to be there for you as a member now
Mhm.
in terms of providing EV financing and finding ways for you to use the right mindset. This is about driving a community mindset.
Mhm.
I would love for um, my EV people that, hey, I got to stop by the credit union. I know I can park and charge for,
While I'm
while
opening
I'm
my
opening the account,
real.
while I'm doing my real loan, or while, just I have to run in for 5 minutes and I chose to charge it for 5 minutes
Mhm.
or topped it off just to get home or whatever the case may be.
Or travelers coming through.
Yeah. And then the travelers come through. But at the end of the day, it's a messaging for us. And so the story goes that we did our evaluation and we came up with about 92 kilowatt hours needed.
Yep.
And um, we went through our first monthly cycle where we put some substantial environmental controls inside the building.
As
To,
far as HVAC and lighting.
yeah, as far as HVAC, to control
Mhm.
timing. Uh, the boss doesn't like it warm here at night, so he might turn it on. But for the most part, at night times, our building isn't occupied. And one of the problems that we discovered in our inefficiencies was cooling the
Cooling an
building,
empty
an
building.
empty building at night.
Mhm.
And so we did that change just in the first month. And this is not before we even hit the peak seasons, right?
This is still springtime.
Yeah, we saw about a 30 kilowatt reduction just by using
Mhm.
environmental controls, and that let us cut the project size down so it has a much smaller input. So the EV charging station will be covered parking, but there'll be a covered handicap parking spot, there'll be a regular covered parking spot, and then there'll be 2 EV covered parking spots on the front of our building. But everything else solar based can go somewhere else
Something that's not as
on the roof and that, so it's not going to be invasive.
intrusive. Yeah.
And then the second half is that we'll be 100% disaster. Well, not 100%, but we're going to be a lot more disaster ready. Um,
Functional.
yeah,
Accessible.
The Quakes taught us things, right?
Mhm.
And hats off to SCE and everything else and all the work that they did. But I got to sit into I believe it's ECS, if I remember that wrong. It's Emergency Services Committee at the city side
Okay.
with my other hat on. And they, one of the things that they mentioned was, if there's a significant earthquake to the San Bernardino area, the Los
San
Angeles
Andreas.
areas. Well, no, here's what happens is if you have a grid outage there,
Mhm.
right? And let's just assume that that grid outage travels up to us at the same time.
Okay.
Who's being dealt with first?
They are.
They are.
Not us.
Not us. We would be, I mean, when it hit Ridgecrest, we were,
We're going to be low man on the totem
yeah, we
pole.
were the center of the world. But if it had hit elsewhere and had an effect on Ridgecrest, we are not scalable in that mindset.
Right.
And I don't know that that would ever happen in that way. And I'm not trying to sound like a bad person, but what it made me aware of is I want to make sure that we have enough power on board to ensure that our members have access to cash and access to our mobile branch and access to things.
Right.
I might not be able to turn on the air conditioner. I might not be able to staff the building. I might not be able to.
But in that sense, like the quakes, there were 2 times that I could not use my debit card somewhere because they were having issues.
Right.
I had access to coming here to the mobile branch, grab cash, go.
Yeah, and we're hoping to keep the physical ATMs up front running as well.
Mhm.
Is how can we?
I would assume no one's coming during a natural disaster in to talk about a car loan.
They're
or
probably
a real
not.
loan.
But you know what? But it's also it's extraordinarily reassuring to know that your financial institution is thinking about what your needs are in a disaster scenario, not especially after what we experience as a community. That's the message I'm really trying to get out to the membership is, hey, we're not doing this just solely because, we're trying to save on energy, but we've been real strategic about it. We want
Yes.
to save on energy, but more importantly, we also want to make sure that in the event of a disaster, we're going to be there for our members.
To take off one less stress.
Yeah, there's already a stressful situation. I think we did it with spades in 19, and I think we could do an even better job of it. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here today.
yeah, that
Chit-chatting.
was fun chit chatting about solar now. But
We had a real adult conversation.
God, what else is going on around here? If you haven't seen, welcome. Come on by and say hello to Taylor Cupertino. We have a new
Yes.
employee that joined us last week. If you notice that half everyone's gone, that's because people love Memorial Day vacations. What else has been going on here?
Things are going to get really patriotic this weekend here.
Things get patriotic. Stars is coming
Stars
back.
is coming.
The July 4th celebration is pushing forward, and we'll be there.
Yes.
At
the fairgrounds.
fairgrounds on July 3rd.
Yep.
For those of you who don't remember coming out in 19, the mobile branch will be out there. We'll be smiling and
Keep an eye out for some fun Win It Wednesdays tying into that this month.
we'll be tying a bunch of that stuff in, and it's been busier than it's not, but it's been fantastic. The credit union's doing real. Oh, the annual report, and everyone should have gotten
Everyone should check your mailboxes.
should have got the annual
your
report. I
mailbox
know
as of today.
Yeah, a lot of them hit
Today.
today. And we're real proud of our report, but more importantly is I encourage the members to take pride in it because remember, we're a member-based organization. So
Oh yeah.
when we do well, it's on the backs of what our members have been able to help us with. So
Because it's not just our numbers, it's the whole memberships.
yeah, it's all membership. So
All membership.
it's outside of that, I think it's been very exciting, busier than it's not.
Popcorn Fridays happened last
Popcorn
Friday.
Fridays last Friday, even Soccerella already.
Oh, how was it?
It was. It was devil. It was Devil Wears Prada Disney.
Interesting. Now this one was rated PG-13, right?
Yeah, that's how I gotta call it. The Devil Wears Prada PG. Because every time Emma Thompson came on screen, I was waiting to see Glenn Close.
Emma Stone.
Or, no,
Emma Stone.
No.
Oh gosh.
She's been nominated for too many Academy Awards.
We're gonna.
It starts with an M.
I haven't done my research on this. I watched a lot of 101 Dalmatians last week.
Why am I saying Glenn Close on it? Because Glenn Close is coming from 101 Dalmatians.
Oh nope, you're Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson is
You were
Corella.
correct.
No, I know it's Emma Thompson.
Oh
But
no,
I keep
Emma Stone.
imagining. No, it's Devil Wears Prada is
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, thank you.
That's why. Okay, there we go.
Every time you see Emma Thompson, you're thinking, I'm waiting to see Meryl Streep. That's why I
is
said
all.
Devil Wears Prada with
Okay.
Disney spin on it. But,
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was, I would call it was.
Eh.
Bring me on some summer movies.
I'm ready for summer movies. I'm ready for maybe my own vacation to some DCA for Avengers Land.
Well, I think everyone's getting a little vacation in before we get into summer season. So
I already had mine.
more coming.
So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in
care.
today. And if you have
DV Live City Talk is coming up next, and I won't be here again.
yeah, I'm sick of seeing Eric on
They
there.
keep throwing me out because apparently City Talk is not just my City Talk.
No, I wanted to talk with Narissa today.
No, Narissa's fantastic. And actually,
Summer's here. Things are opening up. There's activities.
just anybody who sends a comment, tell Narissa, make the pool happen. And trust me, she'll laugh. That's the message I keep sending. So outside
get there.
that, take care. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys.